Hey there, it's Chris. Welcome back to a very different kind of session on the Yoshitaka Mono mobile platform project, where we've spent basically the last several weeks working on Mid here, getting him modeled up, getting him painted, and last time we finally brought his color scheme a little more in balance with the rest of the color scheme on here. And this time we're gonna be changing gears pretty far, as it's finally time for little guys like this airship, and oops, you can even see that in there, that we made a long time ago, and like our asteroid made. It's time to put all of these things and get our astrolabe looking like an astrolabe. So, if we remember from way back when I had first mentioned doing this, I had mentioned that the roll of wire that I have winds up being approximately the size we need for this thing. So today we're going to use that, and we're going to see if we can make this, kind of pop some of these guys on here, see if we can make it work. I'll be honest, I've never done this before in my life, and I think we're all going to learn something from this, but it should be interesting. It should be fun. And that said, just to be honest with you, this is probably going to be the second to last session on this. Next one, if this does work and everything works out well, I'll probably do a number of painting things off camera. I'll be honest, as you know, you've probably heard me say before, I really like the painting job on the globe. I do like the painting job on Mid himself. And this platform area, if you read the description from the previous video, everything is too newish, too kind of stark. I need to actually go about and paint these tassels, probably just paint them black so they match kind of the image on the side here and not have an inside and kind of age like the legs and stuff a bit. I have a number of kind of painty things I want to do. So I can do a bunch of that kind of stuff off camera, and then I'll come back for probably one final episode after this one then, after I get some of these things done, just to kind of then put the final touches on here. I might need to make some more of the planet things to go on here, depending how well this fits this session. I'll probably need to finish off these scrolls and pop the scrolls physically on here, do a couple little touch-ups. So we're there. We're at the end, hopefully. And or hopefully in the fact that hopefully this plan here today works. So let's go and move some things out of the way. We don't need Hiryu on here. We don't need the books on here. I do quasi need Mid, because if we come back to the image on the OBS, work with me. If we come back to the image on the side, we see Mid on the side here. He's basically leaning up against the planet himself, and all of the paths are kind of designed to not interfere with him being where he is. So I kind of want to keep him generally where he is right now, and we're just going to see if we can work around him. I may need to pull him out, push him on. I'm not sure. We're kind of going with this. Now, if you remember way back when, the master plan I was using to do this was I had made these three arms that came up. I can tilt you further. You can see all three of them, which I still never actually finished carving the one side here. That doesn't really matter for this. I can do it later, even though later is coming very, very soon. And I'm going to have each one of these paths is going to cross through all three of these, which should then hold it in place. If I had one, it would flop around all over. If you have 2 points of contact, it can run up. It can kind of rotate just up or down. And the theory is with 3 points of contact, it will keep it in place. So each one of these I'm going to do is going to pass through 3. So now if I just try to drill through with something that's, say, this size, all I did here is I took the coil that I had and just took a little bit further than that. Just we go a little bit further with the path, so it's not as super tight to the globe. It would be a little difficult to kind of try to feed this through all three. So what I'm thinking to figure out where I'm going to drill each one of these guys, which I do have my handy drill, which we're going to be using quite a bit of this time. So to go with that, I think I'm just going to, being as we're already naturally bent in the shape I want, I can just cut out a partial piece of this. I have to be careful where my camera is right now because it's not in my usual place. What I can do is just carve or cut a piece like this. This is now the natural kind of arc we're going off of. And I think I can move the globe back on here because that's probably more important than looking at Mid at this point. We've looked at Mid enough. It's time to it's time to move on. I can now just take this arc and make a bigger arc, because that's not going to help at all. I can now take this arc and just kind of maybe feed that through, and it might make life easier than trying to feed a whole thing. If I can get this in there, then I can feed the full thing through and make that work. So that said, even though it's probably not going to be the greatest for a camera, because you're not going to, I'm not really sure how I'm going to do this and be able to see everything I'm doing, actually, to be honest. So, because I need to cut all of these while seeing where mid is over here at the same time, which is going to be fun. And try to get an idea of what I want this. We're going to have one kind of come through here-ish. So I can do, and if this doesn't work, I can always refill. If this doesn't work, I can always refill the holes that I'm doing right now. And I halfway wasn't sure if this size drill bit was going to work, but I think it will. Okay, so if I have you going through here, I kind of like that. Okay, this is kind of working, because I can kind of feed it through. I can see where it's hitting on this. I can see where it's coming out over here, so that's nice. So we're going to be... Oh, this is going to be a trial. This is going to be a lot of taking things on and off. And we may not get that many done on camera here, because I didn't realize my drill is not going to fit between these guys very well to drill the middle one. So we're going to need to keep taking this thing apart and putting it back together, and taking it apart and putting it back together to make this work. So that's super cool. Okay, we got that. I need to put it back together again, feed it through that one, find out where it hits number 3. Probably have to take it, woohoo! Probably have to take it back apart again after that. Okay, let's get you down in here. Yeah, I have no idea how fast or long this will take, but just based off this start, I don't think it's going to be super fast. I do not think this is going to be super fast. And I do want to widen the hole just a little bit. And if I'm widening a little bit, is it worth going the bigger bit? No, it's not worth going the bigger drill bit. I want to keep the holes relatively as small as I need to, or as small as I can get away with, so everything kind of stays tighter on here. It's just that will make life less fun doing this. Oh, and I'm going to be so apologetic for keeping things on camera this time. This is going to be kind of a nightmare. Okay, so that fits. Okay, so if we have you there, what I can do is I see what's going on. I can widen you a little bit. And we're going to bring you to something like that. Okay, does this feed through nicely? Oh, let's not break this machine at this point. Okay, so we do need to kind of widen you a little. And kind of at this point, I should probably take you out, because it's going to be harder to take you out later. put the real one in. Pray that this all works somehow in the end. Yeah, this is not gonna be fun. Oh, this is gonna be all kinds of problems this session. I already apologize. But we're gonna have a fun one this time. Okay, let's get you over here. And I think I need to drill you up a little bit. Okay, get through there. Oh, oh, oh. And this is where I realized I just made a big mistake. Because where these two guys intersect is where the planets are going to go. This is the back of the model. The front of the model over there, so I need to feed this all the way through. So around and around this is going to go. Well, I could make it so it goes right on top, so that's going to be fine. And actually, as I keep going on... Well, actually, no, it's only if I go through the bottom of the middle one I'm going to have issues. Because once I get to kind of up in this one, I can kind of get past some of these other guys. It'll be fine. I should have fed this from the other side. Also, it's really, really low. It'll be fine in the end. It'll be fine. Whoop. Whoop, whoop. Big progress, big progress. Alright, whatever I do, don't snap things. Just go nice and easy. Okay. That's going to be another problem. I'm going to need to have a globe in here. So, where's the bottom of the globe? So we're going to need to be able to fit this globe kind of in as we go about this. But that does work, and realistically you don't really see the path that much on here, which is probably good. Let's just as a test piece, let's just use one of these little yellow ones I'd just done the other day, and realize we're like 14 minutes in, and let's see if we can make some actual progress. Too deep in there because I don't want this to go all the way through. That would defeat the purpose of this, because as I found out, if you remember way back when I was first designing this thing, when you go all the way through, that created some problems. Also, this set of kind of wooden spheres that I got, that's not pine. That is not pine. I'm not sure what it's made of, but it sure as heck is not pine. It doesn't go through as easily as you would think it should. And so realistically, we're going to have something kind of like that on there. And we have our first path. Mid can go in. It's not in his way. We can get that. We have a little something on there. Okay, so that works. So in theory now, that means this is working. This might be able to do its thing until we start zigzagging wires in the back, in which case we're going to find out this doesn't. And if I start getting a lot of these things in, I need to figure out how to get this. I might need to have the globe in place doing all of this. This whole thing is going to be a thing. Let's see, I actually, what I can do is I need to cut this just a little bit. It's not even on here. You can't see it on the camera, but it's actually not super even, so it pretty much does wind up being exactly one of these. Yeah, that kind of works. Okay, there's one. We got one. See if we can get more than one. What do we want as a second? I want the second one to kind of go a little more vertical. So I could do... I don't want to go through the same hole down there. I could do a something like that-ish. That's going to be coming up kind of through here, down at an angle. Yeah, make sure I go down at the angle this thing is actually going to be going from. That's kind of helpful. Oop, there we go. So what do I want? I want to be something like that. I have here that I can I get through this thing without having an issue? Maybe. Here's where we're going to start getting into problems. Because the more wires I go, the more eventually they're going to be kind of hitting each other as they come around. I want to get down to that hole. Where is the hole? You can do it, buddy. Okay, now I'm going to want that to go up actually a little more. If I go down, that's going to be problems because I need mid to fit in here. So if we're kind of up like that, then I want to be in this area, and we should be fine. So that's kind of in here, and that's kind of neutral. Okay. So as long as that's gonna fit. Okay, let me just push it through the hole real quick. I'll get the real wire. Okay, so if you went there, where was the other? Where were you going towards? Okay, I see the upper one there. Okay, you were... Ah, I got it. So that's going to go from there into that hole. Okay, got it, got it. I may only do like 2 or 3 of these pads on camera because I do need to probably prime and paint and make this part look good before, because I'm going to take all this stuff back off again to do that. So this is more of like a proof of concept right now. But that said, I would like to prove that this concept works. Okay, so you come through here eventually, somehow. Ugh, there we go. All right, we're feeding it the correct direction this time. So I don't need to go all the way around this thing. Okay, I think. Yep, there we go. Got it through that. That's not lined up. Okay, that hurt a little. Not gonna lie. Felt that one. That's not what I want. Okay, you went through there. You're coming. You're coming. Well, again, if we're just doing a proof of concept, I don't need to go all the way. Let's go and put one of these guys on here. You're gonna need to get used. So let's. All right, we got our asteroid. Halfway. This looks like the other half. Oh, this thing is definitely not pine. It is definitely it's some kind of hardwood they used on this. Okay, we'll have an asteroid going through there. Might be nice to have just something up top there for an image that something is happening. And I could have, just so it's easier to see. Just for visibility's sake, let's just for visibility's sake, let's use a bigger planet. I think we get a couple of these guys in here. It's actually going to look halfway. I think this actually could look halfway decent in the end. And he's going to have his little planets kind of going around. I think this could be okay in the end. This could be okay. There's no way I'm doing this all on camera this session because I think for proof of concept, that's all I really need for this session here. Because frankly, I do need to take these things apart so I can finish off these arms and make them look kind of like what they're supposed to look like. And yeah, there's definitely some prep work I got to do on that front. But there are a couple other little things I can do. Let me just put this together so it looks less bad. Where's the hole this thing goes in? There we are. Found it. Alright, we got you up. Put that leg in there. Okay, so I will say I do kind of like this. I was worried about if I didn't like it, I might just take those off. I can fill the holes, it'll be fine. No, I think get a couple more of these things. I don't need to overdo it, but I think just having a couple of these guys on here is going to be a nice touch in the end. And if I can get one that's going to go almost vertical kind of in this, to kind of go, get another guy kind of up in here, that would be probably really good. So see if I have another path that goes this way, that would be good. And just have, yeah. Okay, so I can use up some more time here rather than do everything off camera then in the future. Let's go and do a little bit of the painty stuff that I gotta get done. I can touch up some of these scrolls. Never finished those. So I put everything over here on the side. All my paints are sitting way over there. So let's see if we can grab, where's a light gray? That's beach. No, that's beach. That's the turf. Where's the light gray? Where? I didn't put anything away. It should be up here. And beach, I have a light gray. Let's pull out some greens. Those are my greens. All right, cool. My light gray has disappeared. It's not up here. I love that feeling. Well, beach is close enough. I'm gonna go with it. Beach is close enough. Let's see, I do have that, and I do have water to clean things off. Okay. So we're just gonna, where are we? We're over here. Ah. This is good. I am finally using my airbrush. It's like, I got it, then all of a sudden you get like, I don't have the stuff to use it with. I don't have like a spray booth or any kind of thing like that for my area to use it. So if I wanted to, I can't physically use it right now. Same time, I'm kind of super nervous about breaking it out because again, it's like a new tool, and you're like, oh, what if it's not what I wanted it to be? What if I don't have the skill to do this? It's like this kind of nervous reaction to it, but I am finally using it right now, even if it is just keeping it in the box to hold my camera up so it's not sitting on my table, because that would have been too crowded to see the stuff I wanted to show earlier with the Astrolabe stuff. But at some point in time, I will use it. Now it's just going to be a matter of breaking out the courage to realize that, yeah, it's a new apparatus I'm not used to using, and I don't know the ins and outs of what's going to make really good work with that. Let's see, the other one I can do a little bit of the green here. The light green, what is this? Lime green. Because these scrolls do wind up being kind of brighter colors, so let's just go with that. And then I think I'm just going to go ahead and paint those tassels black. Start there. If I want to lighten them up after, maybe I'll lighten them up after, but those things are bugging the heck out of me right now, and they've got to go. They have so desperately got to go. I do need to age the legs as well. They have a number of stark things going on, but for sure, that's got to change. Okay, I think this green might wind up being a little much on the color side, but the other ones I have are all a little on the darker side, and I think these scrolls that you can't see over here. Can that show it? Yeah, scrolls tend to be a little on the lighter side. So let's just go with that. where are we now? Okay, we're half hour in. Yeah, so overall, let me give those a chance to sit here. They can sit there, rest. They can do their thing. Oh, where is my black? My matte black? A little black is probably gonna feel. We'll see. I might start with the black and change it to a gray after. But in the image on this image on the side here, they are black. It doesn't have that light color thing going on. And we're just gonna get rid of this view that we have right now on this. Finally. Even if this does wind up being just a little dark in the end. Which it is looking a little dark. I can just start with them all kind of like this, and we're gonna change it to you can kind of see, I can kind of see what's going on. You can kind of see. And I will fix this off camera. When we come back again for the finale on this, I will figure out a solution on this part. I will absolutely do what I can to figure out a solution. But I have hated this thing from the start, and I can see that I'm already not liking this solution either. But and I'm already not talking about anything right now, which is kind of cool. Just had one of my worst Zone 2 runs earlier today, so did a little recovery run. Because 2 days ago I finally got my quarter mile of lunges after a 7 mile run. After I did a 7 mile run, and after that did quarter mile of lunges. I got it in. 410 lunges straight, no stopping. And for some reason my body's like, hey, that seems like that was a dumb idea. We need some recovery after that. Considering 2 days before that did that bike ride through the hills and whatnot, and they're very kind of hilly 36 mile bike ride. And between the two things, my legs and glutes are not happy with my life choices at the moment. It'll get over it, but I just did a really slow and just easy pace recovery run today. But as far as Zone 2 goes, it was a slow one, but I am just super tight. It was worth it though. Getting that quarter mile in, it was so worth it. I'm glad I got that done. The goal is to get that done by the end of the month. And month ends next week. That was a goal from start of February, was to get that before March ended. And March ends in just a couple days, so just in time. Okay, I have that in. We're going to be probably sitting on this thing and just kind of seeing what I like, don't like with that, and we're going to take it from there. I like the idea of having tassels. Yeah, I either needed to go all light or all dark, and yeah. I don't care if this was the right solution or not. We're doing it. It's done. I said aging the legs. I think I want to do that off camera because that's going to be a whole lot of trial and error. And I have no idea if that's going to work or not, or what's going to work on that or not going to work on that to make that happen effectively. So we're a little short right now. Like I said, I don't want to do any more pads because I have to take all those off anyway so I can paint things. So I might just call this kind of an early session. Doesn't have to be the entire length. Which one is? We have gray on the bottom, yellow on that side, so ultimately these guys are going to go over there. It's going to add a little bit of color to this. It will take away some of that black, which will be good. I do like this. That's going to work. And yeah, I guess I'm just going to call it. It's just going to be a short session this time. And next time should be the final one. That said, I'm not going to have one go out on Tuesday. Don't plan on one going out on Tuesday right now. It's going to take quite a while to figure out how to fix the color scheme on this. Plus, I want to get this thing kind of all primed and ready. It's going to take some time to get this done. And frankly, on my Ultra stuff right now, both this weekend and next weekend coming up are the two biggest kind of training weekends I have of kind of the entire season. So my body's probably not going to be super happy with me after I do those particular workouts. And yeah, so I'm not going to get much done on the weekend. And that's just going to leave kind of weekday stuff. And I want to give this some time to kind of kind of try to figure out how to make this work and look better and get myself into a good place for next time, which will then be actually adding some of this and maybe just doing a couple little touch-ups here and there. But yeah, I figure final episode will be next time, but don't plan on it being Tuesday. It will likely either be the Thursday, or at a worst case, it'll go up next Saturday as a final episode. But no, we're there. We are definitely at the end of this. Like I said, this last little bit doesn't take much, but I'm liking it. I think this is actually going to work out really well. I was really, really worried that this is one of the first things I put on here. This is like episode 6 or whatever. After the globe was made, this was it. And I've been super worried about that, but I think it's going to be okay in the end. I think it's going to be okay. So, crossing the fingers. But yeah, looking forward to next time. It should be a good one. And hopefully, this will all come out and everyone will be happy with how this turned out in the end, because it's definitely been a process. Anyway, before I ramble on, until then, and until next time, enjoy.